What's going on, Flickers and Crafters, and welcome back to another Minecraft Mods Mods. My name's Creek, and today we're going to be going over part 2 of the Minestrappolation 4 mod. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll have an annotation on screen, as was a card for you mobile users, and a link to part 1 in the description of the video below. So if you haven't seen part 1, go and watch it first, and then come back to part 2. But with that being said, let's go and hop right on into it. Alright, so in this video we're going to be going over the mid-game of Minestrappolation 4 and basic tech progression. So starting off, we have copper ore and tin ore. These spawn on the surface or close to the surface, and they actually have some ore variations depending on the biome that you're in. Same block throughout all biomes, and same functionality. It's just different aesthetical textures to each of these depending on which biome you're in, and you can mine all copper ore and all tin ore with a wooden pickaxe. Now with copper ore you can craft copper weapons and items, such as the copper sword, which does 5.5 attack damage, copper pickaxe, copper axe, so on and so forth. You can only make copper items though. You cannot make copper armor. That is not in the game. And with the yin yang of tin, you can only make tin armor. You cannot make tin items. And here's the tin armor. Pretty self-explanatory. Same crafting recipes as vanilla armor. There we go. And then you can also craft a carpenter's bench, which is pretty important because it's where you're going to be crafting a lot of your wooden-based items. So 2 copper ingots and 4 wood. That'll give you a carpenter's bench. And then you can also craft a barrel with 3 wood and 2 tin ingots. Now the carpenter's bench, compared to a regular old crafting table, which we have here in the ground, here is the carpenter's bench, it does things a little bit differently than a regular old crafting table. So if I take, for example, this material here and try to make a bed in a crafting table, it's not going to work because it's a wooden-based item and you cannot craft that in a crafting table with this mod. You have to do it in the carpenter's bench, and there we go, there is a bed. Now as well, the carpenter's bench also acts as a doubler for wood. So for example, if I try to make sticks, I'm going to get 6 sticks instead of 4, which is really nice. And if I put in oak wood, it's going to give me 6 planks instead of 4, which is also really useful, especially doubling up on early game materials. Now here is the barrel, and the barrel can be stacked on top of each other, it goes straight up, and it acts as a really cheap version of the early game chest, which you can store things in. And then we also have a crate, which is 3 or 6 wooden planks and 3 sticks. And a crate is pretty similar to a chest. You can stack them on top of each other, and they're really cheap to make. The only thing to note about a chest, though, is that am I in creative mode? Yes, I am. A crate is affected by gravity. So if I have something in a crate and the block that it's resting on is destroyed, it's going to fall down and all the items are going to spew out. So keep that in mind if you're, creepy noises, if you're storing your items inside of a crate. Next up, we have Muradite ore, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Here are the ore variations on it, and it can be mined with an iron pickaxe. Thank you, Rain. Thank you. As for the armor and items of Muradite ore, you can make both. We have the sword here. I'll get into the reinforced stick a little bit later on in the video. We have the pickaxe, the axe, same crafting recipes, except all of these are with reinforced sticks. And then Muradite helmet, Muradite chestplate, Muradite leggings, so on and so forth. Now the nice thing about the Muradite armor is when you have a full set, it actually gives you fire resistance, which means you can wade through lava and stuff like that. But do keep in mind that wading through lava, even though you do have fire resistance, it will damage the armor. So you don't want to be in the middle of a lava field and then bam, oh no more pants, because that's going to hurt really bad. But we also can craft a melter, which is used later on in the game with Muradite platings, which again I'll get to later on, and a block of blazium, furnace, and 2 iron bars. Next up we have Taurite ore. Here are the ore variations depending on the biome, and it can be mined with an iron pickaxe. And you can create Taurite swords. Here's the crafting recipe, again with a reinforced stick. Does 7.5 attack damage. We have a Taurite pickaxe, Taurite axe, Taurite shovel, Taurite hoe. Also Taurite armor, really nice. Chest plate, leggings, pants. Now the Taurite armor, when you have a full set and it's all on, it will actually give you a regeneration buff. So when you're in combat and you get hit, the regeneration will kick in and your health should shoot right back up. Now with Taurite, you can also create an alchemical splitter with 2 Taurite ingots, 4 chiseled radiant quartz, which I'll get to later on in the video and later videos, 2 soul gems, and a sunstone. Next up though, we have Sunstone Ore. Here are the ore variations of it depending on the biome. And Sunstone Ore acts as a surface world or normal world, whatever you want to call the dimension that you spawn in, acts as an easy to get kind of like glowstone. So with Sunstone Ore, you can craft sunstone with 4 sunstone shards, which you get from smelting sunstone ore. And sunstone itself acts as pretty much glowstone. So if I come down here, you can see we're down, and actually let me get a block to block this off and show you here. As you can see, nice and lit up thanks to those blocks. So really easy to get glowstone and should light up a lot of your stuff. You can also make lamps with it, which are used in later craft recipes, in-game craft recipes, so on and so forth. And you can also craft the godstone with it, which is a very later crafting recipe and material that we'll be going over in a later video. But we also have uranium ore and plutonium ore. Now these are very rare. They spawn deep underground. And something to note about them is if I open up my window here, you can see that I am poisoned and I have a wither effect. So uranium gives you a poison effect, I believe, and the plutonium ore gives you a wither effect whenever you're in range of it. So if you're ever mining and you get one of those effects, odds are you're near one of these 2 ores. And here are the ore variations of it depending on the biome. We have uranium ore and plutonium ore. And here are the stuff that you can craft with it. So uranium and plutonium, when directly mined, it will give you uranium and plutonium. You don't have to smelt it or anything. And this stuff is cool because it can be used as a fuel source. So here we have a regular furnace, and we're just going to use uranium here. And I do believe they're equal strength in terms of how long it lasts as a fuel source. And check this out. This goes forever. I think I timed it, and it was well over 5 minutes if I remember correctly. And it can cook stuff for days. So it's a very, very good fuel source. And then you can craft a block of uranium, or a block of uranium I should say, with 9 uranium, and a block of plutonium with 9 plutonium. Now these 2 blocks apply the same effects in a larger radius. As you can see here, here's the blocks. So the radius on the poison effects and wither effects are multiplied with the blocks. It's a far greater than the 2 ores here. And then you can also craft an insulated block of uranium. Here's the crafting recipe for that. And an insulated block of plutonium. And the nice thing about these blocks is you can actually use them as a mob trap. So if you want to apply the poison effect, you can put down a block of uranium, but is only active when you have a redstone signal going to it. So it only applies the effect when there's a redstone signal, which is really, really nice. But moving right along, you can also craft a quantum claymerator with 4 diamonds, 2 obsidian, 1 plutonium, 1 godstone, and 1 uranium. Something we'll get into in a later video. And this furnace is still pretty much at max power, which is fantastic. Next up though, we have Desert Quartz Ore. Here are the ore variants depending on what biome it spawns in. And this is a very rare ore that requires you, it spawns on the surface, but it requires you to have a diamond pickaxe to mine it. So it's something you won't be able to get until the late game. And we have Radiant Quartz Ore here. And the thing about Desert Quartz and Radiant Quartz is, well, first off, Desert Quartz can be used as a replacement for Nether Quartz. So if you get diamonds before you go to the Nether, which actually you will have to, you can use it as a replacement for Nether Quartz, which is really nice. So you can get the daylight sensors and other items such as that a lot earlier on in the game. And then with Radiant Quartz Ore, you can craft a lot of really nice looking blocks. like this. We have radiant quartz slab, chiseled radiant quartz slabs, radiant quartz stairs, radiant quartz pillars, so on and so forth. And then we can also make a frosted generator with 2 cracked ice stone, 2 glacier rocks, 1 block of redstone, 2 packed ice, and 2 radiant quartz. And we can also make the alchemical splitter, which we looked at before, with the 4 chiseled radiant quartz, the Taurite ingots, sunstone, and 2 soul gems, which we'll get into in a later video. Next up, though, we have titanium ore, and this spawns deep underground. It's really, really rare. Here are the ore variations of it depending on biome, and it requires a diamond pickaxe to mine. Now, you can also craft titanium items, and these are really, really good items. We're talking in-game here. Titanium sword, 9 attack damage. 9 attack damage. The pickaxe, the axe, the shovel, so on and so forth. And then you also have the armor, same armor recipes, of course. But the nice thing about the titanium armor is when you have it all on, it gives you the resistance effect, which is really nice. I know this isn't exactly the resistant potion here, but I couldn't find the exact potion, so I just put this here to remind me to talk about the resistant effect. But you can also craft with titanium a crusher. Here's the craft recipe for that. 4 blocks of bronze, which we'll get to later on in the video, 1 piston, titanium ingot, and 3 obsidian bricks. Here's the crafting recipe for those. There we go. Stone cutter, which we'll get to actually coming up right next. And then with the crusher, now this is cool because you can actually use it to double your ore output. So if you put, for example, titanium in here, or any ore, iron ore, gold ore, anything like that, and then let's power it with uranium. You can use any power source. I'm just using uranium because it's really awesome. It'll actually crush it up and give you 2 chunks, which in a later video I'll show you how to basically use chunks to double your ore output, which is really nice. Alright, so next up we have the stone cutter, which is pretty similar to the carpenter's table. It's basically to stone as the carpenter's table is to wood, or the carpenter's bench, I should say. And you can make a stone cutter with 2 iron ingots and then 4 cobblestone, or the variant specific biome version of cobblestone that you may be in. And the stone cutter is pretty cool. It has a 3x3 grid here, and then a modifying slot here on the left. So for example, I could take cobblestone, fill that up, and then take some moss that we got from the redwood forest, and bam, mossy cobblestone. If I put in stone bricks and then put a moss up, I'd get mossy bricks, which is really cool. Now, I'm not going to go over every crafting recipe here for obvious reasons. That's just a few. Some other things you can do, though, is you can put some stone in here and get stone bricks, which can then be used in other recipes later on down the road. Here are a few of the things you can make with a stone cutter. There's a lot. Tons and tons and tons, which I won't be going through all of them. But you can also make tin plating, steel plating, and Muradite plating. Here's the crafting recipe for that. 6 tin ingots, that'll give you tin plating. Steel, 6 steel, that'll give you steel plating. And then Muradite, 6 Muradite, that'll give you Muradite plating. Now, Muradite plating is important because it comes in use later in like tons and tons of crafting recipes. But next up, we have the alloy furnace. Here's the crafting recipe for it here. 5 tin plating, 1 furnace, and 3 red rock bricks. And here's the crafting recipe for those. And the alloy furnace is pretty similar GUI-wise as a regular furnace, except it is used to create a lot of the mid-game items and recipes. Actually, let me just go ahead and make it daytime real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright, so the alloy furnace, some recipes here for it. You can make bronze ingots. Here's the crafting recipe for it. I do believe it has to have 3 tin and 2 copper. This doesn't show the exact amount, but there is a specific amount that you have to have. I'll throw it up on screen for bronze ingots. But there's the general crafting recipe for that. Here's the crafting recipe for steel here. 1 iron ingot, 1 coal, that'll give you steel. And then with bronze, you can make bronze swords, bronze pickaxes, bronze axes, bronze armor, so on and so forth. And then with steel, you can make steel items, steel sword, steel pickaxe, steel axe, steel armor. Some more things you can do with an alloy furnace, which is really cool. You can make an eye of ender by putting blaze powder and an ender pearl in there. You can make leather by, watch it go over here, rotten flesh, and then any sort of plant material. So wood, leaves, we have apples, carrots, potatoes, lettuce, anything like that. That'll give you leather. You can make a blaze rod with a bone and a blaze shard, which you get from cooking blazing ore, which spawns in the nether. You can make a bread bowl with dough and a wooden bowl. You can make fried eggs with an egg and a wooden bowl. And you can make a bun with dough and peppercorns. And then with a bun, you can make cool stuff. If I actually get a bun here. There we go. You can make a hamburger, 2 buns, 1 lettuce, 1 onion, 1 steak. You can make peanut butter and jelly sandwich with 2 buns, peanut butter, and some jam bottles. There's the crafting recipe. Oh, go back. There's the crafting recipe for those. And there's a bunch more crafting recipes for both the alloy furnace and the stone cutter. I'm not going to be going over all of them. Like I mentioned with the stone cutter, we'd be here all day. But download not enough items and you can go through it pretty easily. But moving on to blazing ore. This spawns in the nether. And with it you can create a block of blazing ingot, blazing shards. From smelting blazing ore, there's the crafting recipe. And you can make a fire sword, fire pickaxe, fire axe, so on and so forth. And a fire helmet, fire chestplate, fire leggings, fire boots. Now I actually have that armor on right now, as you can see. And the cool thing about this is any of these items here, you can actually right click and it acts as flint and steel. So I have a fire sword here, bam. Fire shovel, bam. All you gotta do is right click and you have a fire. Let me put that out before it burns the entire forest down. But the flint and steel, something I wanted to mention is the flint and steel, the crafting recipe has changed to 1 steel ingot, which again, here's the alloy recipe for that, and 1 flint, and that'll give you a flint and steel. The last thing I want to cover in this video is something known as a mining sieve, if I'm saying that correctly. Here is the crafting recipe for it. 3 copper ingots, some smelting recipes for those, but we already went over how to get copper. 1 steel mesh with 6 steel ingots, that'll give you 16 steel mesh. And then 1 reinforced stick, which I actually forgot to go over. I think it was in one of these chests actually. But anyway, a reinforced stick, you craft it with 8 sticks and 1 tin plating, and that will give you 3 or 8 reinforced sticks. And reinforced sticks are used in pretty much all of the later pickaxe designs. Well, that's a blaze rod, but if I go to like a diamond pickaxe, you can see that it uses reinforced. Actually, all of these do. Let me just grab some of these here. There we go. So diamond pickaxe, 2 reinforced sticks, diamond shovel, 2 reinforced sticks, diamond sword, 1 reinforced stick, so on and so forth. But the mining sieve is really cool because it insta mines blocks. So if I just right click with it, it'll insta mine the block, and it has a chance of giving you a bunch of random items. So we'll just go ahead and click this a little bit. So we got some celery seeds, we got some rice from that, let's just keep going. Alright, and so from that warpath right there, we got 10 rice, some celery seeds, some seeds, pepper, stone chunks, which we can make into stone, potatoes, sunstone shards, and a carrot. And we might have got some other stuff up here too, but it probably went up here. But yeah, it gives you a chance of giving you a bunch of random stuff and insta-mine stuff, which is really handy, especially making like a mining quarry and stuff like that. But that is going to be it for part 2 of the Minestrappolation 4 mod. Stay tuned for part 3. But if this video helped you out, please be sure to give it a like on your way out. It would really help me out. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as more come out. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. If I missed anything or said something incorrectly, leave a comment below and I'll add an annotation. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!